Big LEZ'S League, an all rugby league experience. Hello, welcome back to Big LEZ'S League, an all rugby league experience. I'm your host, Big Les. A bit of something different on the podcast today. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but it is an Origin selection roundtable. You can see there's a couple of guests in and around me. I'm not too sure where they'll fit themselves when we do the final edit, but they're around me somewhere. I've got Brandon Savage, who we've obviously done a lot of work together, but first time for the Leaguie on the podcast and returning as well. We were supposed to do an Origin podcast last year. Guru stole the thunder, unfortunately. But we've got the random stats guy here as well, Nathan, joining us as well. Nath, how are you, mate? What's the last couple of weeks been like for yourself? We spoke pre-recording, a busy man.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit going on. I was over in Hong Kong for the Hong Kong 7, so that was a whole week. And then this week being the long weekend, obviously celebrating on Saturday and then cruising Sunday and then doing a bit of wedding prep as well in between, which for those who know how the wedding prep goes, it can be a bit of a process. So we got the invites out today, which is great. So one step closer to finalising it all.
That's good, mate. It's always good when you can get all that planning stuff out of the way and just get straight into the big day. So should be good. Leaguie, how are you, brother? It's a Big LEZ'S League debut.
Yes, this is definitely the height of my podcasting career. I can say that being on a platform.
Damn, hope Dan and Kemp didn't hear that.
I hope he did hear it. No, look, after a weekend of streaming watch-alongs for all the Anzac games, it feels like I've been sat in this chair looking at this camera for the last 72 hours plus. But I'm very happy to be here. I've agonized over some of these picks, so I'm really looking forward to getting into them. Yeah,
I'm keen to get in and see if you guys have some roughies that we can bully you for as well. It's going to be some good stuff. Sav, what's going on, mate? The moustache is gone.
I know. I'm devastated. And 2 weeks before Magic Round, hopefully it grows back in time, and I'm confident it probably will. Leaguie, I listened to a podcast of yours this morning, League of Inches, talking about the referees. Very interesting chat there. I like how you sided with the referees. And in a day and age where a lot of people talk shit on referees, I think it's refreshing to have someone that defends them.
Thank you, mate. I really appreciate you saying that. That means a lot.
All right, guys. Well, without further ado, let's get stuck in. We'll start off with the better team in New South Wales. We'll start off with fullback. Statman, walk us through who the best statistical fullback is at this stage. I think that I'm even keen to see who it is. I know there's two front runners at the moment.
Yeah, hopefully no front rowers in the fullback spot for New South Wales. But as a Queenslander, I wouldn't mind that. I think it's a pretty obvious choice between the two. One's the incumbent. The other one was the Daily M winner last season. Dylan Edwards, I still have him statistically on top. You take a look through all the different position rankings as a fullback. He ranks top 3 for basically most of these stats. Obviously, another hat trick last weekend puts him second for tries scored by fullbacks this season. Line break assists, he's third, so he's also creating options, running meters and runs. I mean, we're used to Dylan Edwards being on top of that list, so that shouldn't be a shock. So yeah, very much so on top for me. James Tedesco, now he has tried to fit into this Roosters system, this new look Roosters system. Obviously, with Savala and Sandon Smith running the show last season, obviously he had his hands on the ball a lot more. This year, it's been a bit tougher for him to try and fit between Sam Walker and Daly Cherry Evans, both really good halves. So his stats are down a bit. Obviously, his last 2 games, particularly last game against the Dragons, definitely boost his stats up a bit. But he is still up there. He's second for fullbacks for try assists with 6. He is there for meters. He's number 1 for meters at the moment, second for post-contact meters. And as always, in Teddy fashion, regardless on how old he gets, he's one of the great tackle breakers in the game, averaging 7 per match. So definitely a great one head-to-head. But I just see Dylan Edwards, I mean, attack wasn't really a problem for the Blues last year. They scored more tries than Queensland. They won every single attacking stat. So I don't think they should freak out too much on their back line, or at least their attack line. It'd just be making sure they can get the job done this time. And obviously the goal kicker from last year isn't in the sport anymore. So there might be a good option there. But for me, I think Dylan Edwards is still number 1, boys.
All right, Leaguie, who have you got?
I've gone with Tyrell Sloan. at fullback.
This is nice. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Do the
He's onto
stats back
something.
that up, Nathan? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. 2-game average, mate. You know those are high.
Look, I mean, I'm a Sydney Roosters fan. I adore James Tedesco. I think he's the best thing since sliced bread, and so I have gone with him at fullback. I think his leadership is absolutely brilliant. I think his form throughout last season was absolutely unreal to win that Dally M, and he's become a really, really solid part of this Roosters machine at the moment. Though without wanting to foreshadow, I haven't exactly admitted Dylan Edwards from my squad either. So Tedesco was at fullback for me.
Savros, what's going on?
I've gone with James Tedesco. I think before the Tommy Turbo injury, I was actually with Tommy. I just think in the past, New South Wales have kind of tried to stick with systems and combinations too much, whereas Queensland have always got the win because they got game breakers in their side. And I feel like Teddy is the closest thing to that at the moment. Dylan Edwards is part of the Penrith system, and I feel like they'll lean in too much into that when they if they pick Dylan Edwards. So I'm going with Teddy, and yeah, to be honest, either way, it's a good choice, but I'm going with Teddy for that.
All right. Boys, Leaguie and Savros. With Teddy, the reason he was obviously dropped in the first place was because he didn't gel well with the halves. Is there any concern around that in picking Tedesco if we do go with him for game one?
Well, look, I don't necessarily think so. Look, it's a concern for sure, and I don't believe completely in the coaching of Laurie Daly, to be honest. And maybe he's not the man to get the best out of that system. But Tedesco's last trial in Origin, to my memory, was the game in which Suoli'i got sent off early on, and he didn't even play that badly. He scored a try in that. I always felt that it would be a bit of a shame if that was his last go, as a Blues great in the Origin arena. So I would like to see him given another shot.
Savros?
Yeah, I think like he was enrosted in that New South Wales Origin side a couple of years ago now, and Dylan Edwards has really taken the reins since then. So I think he has adapted his game and become more consistent and more adapted to a dominant halfback in, Sam Walker's the halfback in his side now, and he's learnt to play with someone like him. In the past, it's more been Teddy ball. He gets the ball when he wants it. And I feel like over the last couple of years, he's really adapted and grown into that role of fitting into a system rather than him being the system. So I think considering how good he is, it's crazy how it's taken him this long, but like the game has evolved and he has evolved as a player. So I just think, yeah, it is a concern. And I think the league is right that Laurie Daly is probably my bigger issue, just getting the best out of James Tedesco. But
damn, Laurie Daly,
yeah,
the New South Wales Rugby League has heard this
sure.
podcast is going on, and they have jumped on it straight away.
Sniper at the window. I love that.
Sniped out the window.
Episode yet. There's flies everywhere.
Well, rest in peace, Savros.
It didn't last very long. We're only a couple of look, just until Sav gets back, I have sided with you, Rando. I've got Edwards. I just feel like he's the safer option at this stage. He's obviously the incumbent from last year. I actually think, and this might be a little bit controversial, but like he's probably had the better year when you're looking at head-to-head than Tedesco. I mean, Tedesco's had a really good past couple games, but I feel like Edwards has had the better year, and even in his game on the weekend, it was outstanding. Didn't have to do too much. Obviously, had some big moments at the start of the game with those 2 tries, but I thought he was really good. So for me, I've got Edwards. It does create a little bit of a tie. So
look, I'm happy before you cut him off, and rightfully so. Savros was making a good point about adjusting with the halfbacks, and I think in particular this year he's had to do it more so with Sam Walker and Daly Cherry Evans at the helm rather than him wanting to have the ball all the time. So I'm happy to side and give one to Leaguie and Savros and pick Teddy for this one, because I'm on the fence with it. It's 50-50. I think that in my heart, I think Dylan Edwards, or statistically and in my heart, I think Dylan Edwards will get it, but I'm happy to fold and see Teddy in there. I wouldn't be disappointed either or for the Blues either way.
See,
all right, well,
I was going to say a similar thing.
So let's remember that. Remember that when we have a 50-50 call next, Leaguie, that you're going to fall the other way.
I mean, I was going to say I won't die on the hill. I'll be happy with Dylan Edwards in there. But I think that goes to show just how much of a genuine 50-50 race it is. But I do have to agree. I think probably in my heart of hearts, I feel Laurie Daly's going to pick Dylan Edwards.
And look, to be honest, like we obviously I sent a depth chart out to you guys a couple of weeks ago as well, just with the depth in there. And for New South Wales, it's unbelievable some of the positions we got depth in. But, there are a couple of fullbacks in there, but these two are the obvious standouts. And it's cool to see that they've been the obvious standouts for the past couple of years as well, which is awesome to see. We will move on to the wing. Hopefully we can get old mate Sav back in here soon and he doesn't get monetised from New South Wales any longer.
I think for me, it's the Panthers wingers again, and that's not to harp on how good the Panthers are going, but obviously Tommy Jenkins, he's having a generational run right now. Obviously, he's got that try-scoring streak, which is quite unbelievable. He's first for line breaks as well. He just runs the show basically, and even more impressively, pretty low on the error side as well too. They're 9 and 7 that him and Brian To'o share, so 9 in 8 games isn't too bad for a winger who gets absolutely shat on with bombs throughout the season. So that's really good to see. So I think Thomas Jenkins would be an absolute smoky for that left wing position. Really good under the high ball, as I mentioned, both in attack and in defence, which does push me away from the next bloke who's coming up. But before I go to him, obviously Brian To'o, the best winger in the NRL. I don't think he needs an introduction whatsoever. I think he gets that right wing spot. He's got that until he retires, in my opinion. But the other bloke who could be pushing him, Leaguie's man, Mark Nwanga Nitawaze, he is obviously killing it. He can perform try-assists, line break assists. He can create something out of nothing for the Blues. I think the biggest thing for New South Wales, though, is their back three let them down in errors last season. So you look, they made 33 errors in the 2025 Origin Series, New South Wales. 16 of them came from their back three. So they really need a secure back three that will be able to take the high balls. And Mark and Leaguie can probably attest to it. Probably not the best under the high ball, particularly if we go to the Cauldron. Or even like the MCG, 100,000 fans, it might be a bit tough for him. His defensive decisions also make him a bit of a liability as well. So just one player, I think, who's probably pushing Origin selection is Marky Mark, but I really do think it's the Panthers wingers here, because that now left wing position has now freed up with Zach Lomax departing, and I think that's a huge opportunity there for Jenkins to possibly get a look in.
League, I can see it in your eyes, mate. I feel like Marky Mark is on the tip of your tongue. Am I right?
He is, but not really for positive reasons, actually. Which might surprise some people. Look, I love Mark, and I think that he excels at clubland, and I think that we get to see him against not necessarily only the weaker sides in the competition, but, say Anzac Day the other day against the Dragons. He can have an absolute field day, score 2 tries. I don't think the Queensland Maroons are going to afford him the amount of space that he then takes to create the spark that we see from him. For the wing spot, obviously To'o, he picks himself. The other side, I would have gone with Tom Trbojevic before he got injured. I thought he was in very good form. He's played on the wing for the Blues before. In absence of him, I liked Jacob Carrez, who's now also injured. So this is a really, really rogue shout, but I alluded to it earlier. I'd actually consider picking Dylan Edwards on the wing. I'm throwing a complete smoky in here, right? But he's played 3 tests for the Kangaroos on the wing before. You get the luxury of picking both him and Tedesco in the side. And I just see a reality where Queensland are kicking to a back three of Tedesco, To'o, and Edwards. And I don't know who you pick between those three, because they are all going to be starting off the sets for the Blues in brilliant form. So I've actually gone with Edwards for that wing spot.
I like that. I really do. That's a real out of the box, but it actually makes sense.
I love it.
Oh God. It's not what I was expecting from you, League. I'll tell you that for free. But it's good. It's good. I understand it from the yardage point of view. It's definitely going to put us in a good spot. The only thing would be maybe just the X factor there on the wing a little bit. Not to say that Edwards doesn't have X factor, but when you stick him in a corridor, he's not going to do what he can do at fullback. And then maybe defense as well would probably be a little bit of an issue. But I don't mind it, Lee. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Sav, who have you got?
I like it better than a lot of options we have. I think it's a weird time. I had Nwanga Nitawaze a couple of weeks ago, but I think just as time goes on, you're right that Queensland aren't going to give the inches that most other club teams give. And Tom Jenkins is hot on everyone's lips, but I'm kind of leaning towards giving AJ a go. 9 tries and have that left side of the Bunnies combination and the right side of Crichton and Toll. I'm sorry, giving away the centres nice and early, but I feel like they picked themselves just about. And I think that's the way we can go. Just the way he's finished some tries in the last couple of weeks, he's just really taken an inch and just taken everything. He is a great winger. 250 games, he's safe, he's quick. He's kind of what we need on that left edge. And yeah, I'm leaning that way. But I love the Edwards shout so much.
I do too, actually. Now that
yeah, makes so much more sense, especially now that we you missed it. We did pick Tedesco in the end for that fullback spot. Okay, we did. I bent over like a table. But I think either or. I also like AJ as well. I mean, we talk about a player who you put him there to finish tries, and he feels so comfortable with Latrell Mitchell by his side. It's the most perfect time for him to. I don't know if he probably has debuted already for New South Wales. I think he had a shocker, but like a second chance here. He hasn't?
No, I don't think so.
I thought he got one in Suncorp. Might be wrong.
I can picture it, but I'm not too sure. I'm
pretty sure Daniel Tupou has, but yeah,
Daniel Tupou's played plenty. Yeah.
Johnson has not.
Papua New Guinea and 1 game for Australia.
There you go. I was thinking probably Australia. Well, this is probably the best time for him to debut then.
Rando, who have you got as your 2 wingers?
Mine were going to be Milky and To'o, but I tell you what, the Edwards shout does sound very good.
Okay. Sweet. I
will say
Laurie
Daly has come out publicly and said that both Tedesco and Edwards are fullbacks. So even if we do pick Edwards, I really don't think Laurie Daly's going to.
Hey, we're content creators. We need the content, so let's do it.
Look, I'll throw my winger out there, and it's a guy I'm actually shocked hasn't come up yet, but I've got Casey McLean on the wing. I've gone Casey McLean left wing. I think his form's been outstanding. I'm sure that he might come up a little bit later when we do talk about the centres, but I just feel like him and Latrell next to each other. Latrell's the best defensive centre in the game. He's going to safeguard Casey there on that wing, and Casey can just do unbelievable things like he did for the Kiwis, obviously, but obviously for the Penrith Panthers as well, just setting up tries and looking good like he always does. So I'd be giving Casey McLean the shout, even though he is 19. I feel like he's probably been a guy that's been pushing for that spot. What are we going to do? Are we going to throw Edwards there? Is that what we're doing here?
I think we like him.
I think we do. I think we generally do. I think it's a genuine thing that, as well, I'll give you your flowers too, Les. I wasn't thinking Casey McLean either, but we got into that point with wingers where even though New South Wales have abundant of them, there's none that really stand out, much like, the Dylan Edwards shout or even like Casey McLean, Alex Johnson as well with the comfort of Latrell there. All really good wingers.
Yeah, exactly. We're in a real interesting spot. I love it from your yardage sense. League, I think you've hit the ball on the head there. Just out of yardage, he's going to be so dangerous. He's not really going to have a lot of room to attack. He probably doesn't need to do a lot other than finish. The defense is probably the only thing I'd be a little bit worried about. But I'm just as worried about Marky Mark in the same aspect. I'm probably a little bit worried about Casey as a 19-year-old and in the Origin arena on the wing as well. So, yeah, I think we've settled on Edwards and Toto, guys. What do we reckon?
Beauty.
Let's go.
All right, Rando, let's move into the centres. Who stands out this year?
I mean, we already mentioned the man, and I'd be silly if he isn't picked, and that's Latrell Mitchell. First for tries, first for line break assists. He gets more touches than any other centre in the game, 27 per game, which you compare that to some halves. They don't even get that many touches of the ball. Leads the line breaks, offloads second for that. I mean, every statistic he just leads in the centre category. He has got to be the first picked here. For right centre, I think this guy's had an absolute brilliant start to the season. 6 tries in his first 8 games, 4 line break assists as well. So putting it on both sides. He's second for tackles for centres as well, without being too bad in the missed tackle category as well. So I'm going to take Tony Staggs there at right centre.
Okie dokie. Right. Savros, take us away. Who have you got?
I've got Latrell and Stephen Crichton, but I think Katoni Staggs has been one of the informed centres in the competition in the last couple of years, and he definitely deserves a shout. If Stephen Crichton isn't fully fit, then I think we've got to pick our fittest team. We can't be picking players that are half injured and are going to be hindered. So I'd be taking all three of those and just seeing who's fittest on the day for sure. But I think the centres, there's not much conversation around it. It's two of those three.
Jumping the gun a little bit, is there any chance we see Staggs on the 6-man bench?
Yes, there is.
He's not on my one.
Mine.
No.
He's not on my one.
I just feel like
the centre.
I just feel like big body. He can, fill in the back row if you absolutely need him to. If there's injuries in the centres, he can obviously move in there. If there's an injury at fullback, he goes to centre. One of the guys goes to fullback. I like it. I think 6-man bench is good for Staggs. I just think if Critter's available, he gets that spot for me. I've got Critter and Latrell. I think we've all agreed on Trell Mitt. Leaguie, who have you got as your other centre?
Yeah, those two. I am a little bit worried in that I don't think either Latrell or Stephen Crichton have shown the best of their form in the Origin arena just yet. Latrell did it at the start of his Origin career, but I feel in recent years maybe not. But him being a centre now week in, week out, I think will help massively. And Stephen Crichton has such good leadership, they pick themselves.
All right, so I think majority might rule here for Critter and Trell, but Staggs is a great shout.
I mean, Sav as a super coach guy, I think he does super coach. I'm not too sure. You'd have to double check his username. But
maybe not this Sav. Sav with a moustache that does super coach, but I don't know.
I don't know about this fraud. He knows full well that Stephen Crichton, he's not a statistical centre. He doesn't put up the big stats, so that's probably why he's been overlooked in the stats category. And I think we had this conversation 2 years ago, too, Big Les, when I overlooked Stephen Crichton before because he's a presence. His presence there, his defence, that's what he's known for. Not too much so of his output statistically.
Got a question just before you jump in there, Les. Stephen Crichton, we saw in 2021, played on the wing. Could he potentially go there with Staggs going to the centre? Because you feel that back five is much more trusted in the outside backs rather than, putting a AJ or a Edwards in an unpreferred position. Could you do that?
Would he want to do that, do you reckon?
Probably not, but
I feel like he's got that. I'm not saying Stephen Crichton has an ego, but I just feel like something about him being at wing just doesn't go right with me. Like if Ciro tapped him on the shoulder one day and said, "Mate, we're going with Tuala and Cherry. You're on the wing." I don't think he's liking that one.
Would you put it past Ciro?
Not at this point. I'm not putting anything past him.
Look, the only thing with Critter on the wing as well, AC joint injury, and you're going to get him to be doing those play two carries. I don't like it. I like his defense. I really like his defense in the centers. So I'd probably go with him in the centers. But you're obviously trying to fit all these guys in. It's a good shout.
The only reason I ask is because Tony Staggs can hold himself defensively very well as well. So that's the only reason.
Yeah, 100%. Rando, number 6. What are we looking at?
Number 6, and I tell you what, there's very few traditional sixes who can vouch for it. Probably Matt Burton would be your main man at the moment. He is first for meters, first for tackle breaks, first for line breaks in the 5'8" category. But I'm leaning towards a normal halfback to go back to 6, and that is Adam Dewey. I think he's having an absolute sensational game. He's got a great running game that will obviously work well with Nathan Cleary being the leader and the kicker in this side. He's first for tries for halfback, first for runs, even 4 more runs per game than Matty Burton. He runs alongside Jerome Luai, and I know we're going to bring up Jerome Luai. I know you boys will probably bring up Jerome Luai, but from a statistical standpoint, he is statistically clear of any other 5'8" option we have available. He's the second best halfback behind Nathan Cleary, but that's just an unfair sort of comparison. His only knock is that he is a second for 6s or for 7s for missed tackles. So his defense could be a bit harmful. Also, I was doing this little comparison the other day with the Hello Sport boys, is that Adam Dewey, his run to pass ratio this season is 1.86. That's center's sort of run to pass ratio. So he doesn't like passing the ball at all. He just likes holding it and taking it forward. So if you're looking at 1.86 and wondering what kind of maths is that, he passes the ball 2 times every time he runs it. So he runs it and then he passes it under 2 times when he has the ball in his hands. So that's quite a lot of running from Adam Dewey, and that could sort of hinder potentially the attacking shape that the Blues want to run. But for me, other than that, the stats just scream Adam Dewey.
The stats scream Adam Dewey. Who have you got, Rando?
I'm going to say Adam Dewey. I'm just going to run with the stats here. I think Jerome Luai's obviously just come back from injury, so not too much to go from the stats point of view. Obviously, he's the incumbent. Tigers have started well, so he probably keeps his spot over Mitch Moses, who is struggling with the Eels at the moment. So, potentially Luai comes back into the Origin scene.
How insane is it that we're talking about Adam Dewey as the New South Wales 5'8" this year? Like, if you told me that 6 months ago, I don't know what I would have done, to be fair. I definitely wouldn't have believed you, that's for free. But
mate, we had Thomas Jenkins in this conversation. Who would have thought that?
We did. And I tell you what, 2 years ago, we were talking about Connor Tracy is the best statistical fullback too. So
absolutely.
We've had
robbed.
Look, Adam Dewey, the best statistical option. Leaguie, who have you got?
Yeah, not Adam Dewey in at 6. Look, all the best to him. He's had an absolutely brilliant start to the season, but I sometimes think of Origin picks in terms of who would the opposition not want us to pick, and I don't think they'd mind too much if we picked Adam Dewey in at 6. The two that I think of are Jerome Luai and Mitch Moses. I think that probably does make sense. As much as I like the idea of the Cleary-Luai combination coming together again, obviously they've worked so successfully with one another. We've seen it work at times in Origin, but then again, at other times, they just end up playing Penrith-style footy, and that doesn't necessarily translate to the Origin arena. So I went with a bit of a point of difference in having Mitch Moses in at number 6.
Okie dokie. Savros.
I also have Mitch Moses. I feel like with the fact that Nathan Cleary has yet to stamp his game on Origin at the moment, I'm giving away our other picks too early. I'm sorry. But the fact Nathan Cleary hasn't stamped his foot on Origin, I feel like Mitch Moses can take the front seat when needed, and they can kind of swap that role around when needed. So I know he's out of form at the moment, but I see Mitch Moses as a premier player in this competition. He can lead teams to glory. He led us to Suncorp glory. I know Loz said he's going to pick players on form, but I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's just going to stick to the elite players he trusts, and Moses is one of them. So I'm going Moses.
I can't do it, boys. I really can't go Moses. I look at his form this year. He looks super down on confidence. He looks like he's carrying an injury, to be fair. Like, he does look like he's still carrying that foot injury. I do think when it comes to Origin, especially because we've got so many guys available, I'd rather pick someone who's fit and ready to go. Luai's just come back from an injury, so I want to see him the next couple of weeks and see how he goes. But at this stage, I got Luai. Like, he still looks pretty good. Attacking-wise, he looked good on the weekend, got through 77 metres, so I feel like that's going to go up week to week. A guy we haven't brought up is Burton. He gets through a lot of work running. Just hasn't really stood out in regards to the 5'8" options. What are our thoughts on Matty Burton as an option?
Maybe in the extended side on the bench for a bit.
Yeah.
We saw him do very well at centre in Origin before, and I like having him as a kicking option, but we already have that with the John Mitchell in the centres, so Burton's not in my side.
Yeah, Rando?
I don't think he's the worst shout. I mean, mate, I was looking at Mitch Moses here, and I've got all the players that I've shortlisted here. Players with more try assists than Mitch Moses this season: Blake Brayley, Wade Egan, Casey McLean, Will Kennedy has more try assists than Mitch Moses this season. And Mitch Moses, by the way, has played the full slate of 8 games this year, if you haven't been watching. So for me, I can understand, pick him based on merit rather than form. But honestly, I think potentially there could be a change. And I'm not going to die on the sword on Adam Dewey, but Matt Burton's definitely an option, or worst, or at least Jerome Luai.
If Ethan Strange didn't get injured on the weekend, How
Fuck,
is he in our teams?
No, he needs to find form at club level before he can go to Origin.
Oh, we're not speaking about the obvious 5'8", Lockie Galvin. Actually, I don't think he's the worst option. Cameron Munster, Rando, is he in your Queensland side?
We'll get to it. We're not jumping ahead. We're not jumping ahead.
You'll be kicked out of this podcast for a different reason.
Oh my god, exactly.
Look. I think majority rules. You've got to go Moses in this one. We'll take Moses at this stage. Savros, halfback. What are we looking at?
Cleary.
Oh, sorry.
That was it.
No, we're all nodding. I think, mate, if we want to go to bed early, we can just say Nathan Cleary and move on.
Yeah, look, I think it's the main option. Leaguie, have you got Cleary as well?
I've got what Sav said.
He liked to look to Cade Reid after that Roosters game, so potentially.
Hugo Savala, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I think we've got to go Cleary, boys. Are we all happy with Cleary?
Yep.
Let's lock him in. All right, let's move into the front row. Rando, what are the front rowers looking like statistically?
Obviously, Payne Haas is going to be out for Origin 1, so we got to look at some new players here. I think there's two players who can make their Origin debut. Surely these guys are at least on the bench. The first guy who is really killing it at the moment, and you can't look past him, Jackson Ford. He has found a new level at the Warriors this season. I mean, he continues to grow underneath Coach Andrew Webster. So you got to love him. Most run meters for a prop forward, most runs by a prop forward, most post contact meters by a prop forward, most line breaks for a prop forward. You even look over to his defensive side. He's second for tackles for a prop forward as well this season with 41. He had 58 tackles and 207 meters on the weekend against the Dolphins. Only the third Warriors player to ever have to join the 50-200 club, 50 tackles, 200 meters. He has been in such a good piece of form. And as you were saying, Sav, if Loz is fair income about picking players on form, Jackson Ford is probably one of the first picked. I think he is absolutely unstoppable. The next bloke with no Payne Haas is Terrell May. Big question mark at the start of this year when Benji said that his minutes were going to be cut. We still see him punching above 200 metres. His offload game could cause havoc for the Queensland Origin team as well. He ranks first for that among front rowers. Second for line breaks, believe it or not. I don't see him too many times in open space, but apparently he's up there. He also puts his hand up for the most receipts of any front rower in the comp too, averaging 24 per game. So he's all there, all heart. Look, he's not going to be doing any of the fancy stuff, but you want a Payne Haas equivalent, a bloke who offloads, a bloke who can dent the line and make meters, then Terrell May's your body double. So I think he's got to get a look.
So are you going to stick with the stats here, Rando, and go those two?
I'm going to stick with those stats. I mean, other players who I think will be on the bench, I think Stefano, I think Jacob Saifidi has played really well to start the season as well. So they would be the other two I'd look at.
Okie dokie smoky. Leaguie, where are we thinking for front row?
Well, I was ready to trial Laurie Daly last year at the International Criminal Court after not picking Terrell May in State of Origin. I was absolutely livid. So best believe I'm picking him to start this time around. Obviously, in an ideal world, I think he starts next to Payne Haas. But with the change to the Origin rules at the start of the year, I believe that makes Adam Fanua-Blake available. And although he hasn't necessarily, I think, been at his barnstorming best for the Sharks, I think he's a guy who's been frothing the chance to play in State of Origin for a number of years now. So I'd be picking him to start.
Sav, what are you doing?
Front row, Terrell May is one of mine. I think just the way he's been running the ball lately with his intent, he's running a lot harder than I've ever seen him run before. So I think that's just a big tick for his Origin credentials. I do like Jackson Ford, but he's probably later in the side for me. Isaiah Yeo is my front rower. I'm going Isaiah Yeo as my other front rower. And one job only, and that's run the ball straight.
Okie dokie. Look, I think that with the let's just wait. Let's just wait until we hear mine first. But it looks like Terrell May is going to be one of them. I've got Jackson Ford in one of my front row spots. Rando, this is my Connor Tracy call. Are you ready for it?
Go for it, mate. Who are you picking?
I've got Alex Tall to start. I think
front row.
Yeah, defensively, the first 20 minutes of the game, he can just get the sting out of the game, defend really well, almost have a little bit of a gerbo role. He plays the first 20 and just defends his ass off, and then he comes off and you get those more mobile guys in your Adam Fanor Blakes and Mitch Barnetts or whoever you have on your bench, and they can come on and just run right through the middle of the field. So I've gone that way, Alex Toole starting. Because I think with Alex Toole, if you are to pick him, because his name's been thrown up over the last couple of weeks, if you are to pick him, he's got to start for me. Otherwise, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I've gone Toole to start. It's definitely a crazy call. If Payne Haas comes back and he's in calculations, I think Payne Haas is straight in and Toole, unfortunately, will miss out. But I've got Toole at the moment. And a bit of a spoiler, I actually don't have Terrell May in my side.
Damn, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Hope you got a good lawyer because Leaguie's taking you straight to the international court.
I don't have a lot of money, Leaguie, so be gentle with me. Boys, Terrell May and Ford, it looks like, are the front runners. We're happy with to stick with that?
Yeah.
All right.
I think Ford is very similar to Alex Twelve shout. Can play similar minutes up front, and he's got a big motor, so you can keep him on the field if you need to. So I think both of them up front are a really good shout in case injuries happen.
Yep, 100%. Let's move to number 9. Rando, what are we looking at for the hookers?
I think this is pretty open. Obviously, Reece Robson only just coming back from injury, starting to find his feet at the Roosters. I've been really liking what Blake Brayley has been doing, and it's only a matter of time before he starts to crack this New South Wales team. First for try assists with 7, and that puts him up pretty highly overall for try assists as well. Plenty of touches. His durability is incredible. I don't think he's missed a game since 2020, the back end of 2020. I think he got rested for that Raiders match, and then ever since then, he's played every single game of rugby league. So he is hard as nails, tough as nails, and he's not shying away from it. He's third for tackles made by hookers this season, 44 per game as well. He can make your tackles. He's really good at, as I mentioned, 7 try assists this season, getting out of dummy half. Jackson Ford's been scoring tries. He can hit him up front. He can hit Terrell May if he wants to crash over. Mate, if the second rowers that I'm going to be talking about in a second, perfect for them, mate. He could even get it to Latrell off the play of the ball. I think Blake Brayley is probably gotten the chance to have a head start above Reece Robson, so I wouldn't mind seeing him as a possible starter there. He's the best statistical one for me.
All right, and that's who you've got there as your 9 as well?
Yep.
Sav, who have you got?
I've got Blake Brayley as well. I think he's been the best hooker in the last 6 to 12 months, and he's only made his case. He went on the Kangaroo Tour and really impressed. I think he was an emu, apparently. I don't know if you know what that is, but apparently a lot of drinking involved. But he's been one of the better hookers in the last 12 months, so I think he deserves his opportunity. No foul to Reece Robson. I think he's come on and played well, but I don't know. I feel like with the modern game, we just want someone quick and who can make quick decisions. Reece Robson is that, but I think Brayley's better at that.
Leaguie, who have you got?
Yeah, well, as much as I love Reece Robson finding his feet at the Roosters, I feel that this is only really a conversation because he's the incumbent. And to me, incumbency only really applies when you're excelling, and he does a good job, but 50% win rate in Origin is neither here nor there. In my mind, with what Blake Brayley has been doing in recent years, you kind of have to think, well, if he doesn't get the jersey now, what the hell does he have to do? I'm going with Blake Brayley. All
righty, it's a landslide Brayley. Love it. And the fact that he can handle himself on the piss just makes him an absolute I love that. Rando, back rowers, what have we got?
For the back rowers, I have looked at Hudson Young. Obviously, he's suspended at the moment, but I think his start to the season in a poor Raiders outfit has been really good. He's third for runs for second rowers. He's second for tackle breaks made by second rowers as well. He had the most tackle breaks in the Origin series last year on top of that, so he can handle himself at the top. He's proven that self over in the Ashes tour recently as well, so he can play rep footy and he can play it well, and I think he's deserved to keep his spot there for the Blues. For my right second row option, I'm going to go with Hamoli Olakau'atu. I think he has had a really good start to the year. I think he's had 298 under Foz ball. He's run for 200 plus meters, I think, in 3 out of 4 games already this year, including last week against the Eels, where he didn't score a try, didn't make a line break. He still made 222 meters. Barnstorming best, 9 tackle breaks. I think that he is always a tough one to catch. And if you've been watching the Melbourne Storm games, I'm sure it's getting a lot more viewers now that they're losing, but Cam Munster has just struggled completely. And the worst bloke that he would want to face is Hamoli Olakau'atu, and I think that is the perfect person for him. The beauty of this, and no knock on Angus Crichton, again, we're talking about incumbency, but the beauty of that is Hudson can go back to his natural left second row and Hamoli can play that right second row position. So they're in their proper positions. They play at club level, and I think that will go a long way too. So Hudson Young and Hamoli are my leaders for that origin spot.
Before we touch on another candidate, which is Jacob Preston, me and the Savros were talking pre-show about Jacob Preston, and it was revealed throughout the week that obviously Critter's out with an AC joint injury at the moment. He's done one of his AC joints, and he's been getting painkillers on one of those. He actually revealed in an interview that Jacob Preston has done both, and he's getting painkillers for both, and has played all 8 games. So that's, I think, something we've got to look at. You're looking at I'd say fully fit Hamoli Olakau'atu there, or a banged up Jacob Preston. I think that definitely would impact our decisions here on the panel. League, I'll throw to you first, mate. Who have you got?
Yeah, well, I agree on the Hudson Young and Hamoli Olakau'atu calls. However, Hamoli is not in my starting side. I think Hudson Young's probably the form back rower in the comp at the moment. Just the things that he's been doing at the Canberra Raiders has been absolutely brilliant. But in the other back row spot, I have gone with Liam Martin. I think is a guy who excels on the big stage. The stats don't necessarily reflect, I think, how good a player Liam Martin is. And I feel that those two can sort of shore up those edges to start the game. And then you have the impact guys coming off the bench.
Okie dokie. Sav?
Is Liam Martin fit for round 1?
Or for game 1? Yeah, I'm not too sure. That's what I was sort of thinking.
I'll check. He just seems so banged up at the moment. He just hasn't been getting those minutes and stuff. I think he's been averaging like 40 in the last couple of games, but he's definitely injured now.
NRL.com says knee, actually, TBC. Sorry, I thought I double-checked before the stream.
6 to 8 weeks.
Because he's one of those guys that I would pick regardless on form, because he's just done it so much in the past and he's just a competitor. But I think considering the injury, are you going to go again?
Yeah. If he is at match fit, I'll go with I guess then Hamoli Olakau'atu probably to start. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm going with Hamoli on the right edge as well. I think Preston was in my considerations as well, but I feel like Hamoli is someone that scares the opposition rather than, like, Preston's a great player, but you got to strike fear into your competitors. Hudson Young is also on my left edge, and I feel like these guys need to play big minutes, and coming off the bench for them is probably just, we've done it in the past. Them coming through the middle just doesn't work. So I'm excited to see both of these guys play big minutes on the edges.
Yep, I've got Young and Schmolle. I had Jacob Preston before this podcast, but I read that little thing there from the interview, and I was like, I can't pick Preston now. I can't pick him now. 13, let's get stuck into it. Rando, who are the best statistical options at 13?
The Blues captain is your go-to pick. I know Sav had him in the front row, which is also a decent shout as well, because I think I might know what he's going to do for lock but I'm not too sure. He hasn't played his cards the way I wanted him to recently. But Isaiah Yeo for me, third for runs for locks, third for run meters, first for post-contact meters, first for tackle breaks. He's breaking tackles, Isaiah Yeo. What a throwback to his centre career. He won't let you down in the middle. He's shown that year and year and year and year. So I think he picks himself. But the other two that I really do like and will be in my extended squad, I know you're talking about that he's not the most attractive footballer off the bench, but Alex Twal, you can't hide away from his numbers. Second for runs and run meters, second for post-contact meters in the NRL, first for offloads. Like I said, if he comes on in that second half and just starts offloading like no tomorrow around that Queensland middle, he could really open the game up in the second half, particularly for players. If we do pick James Tedesco coming through there, breaking tackles, it's just going to be absolute chaos. So I really don't mind him as a bench pick. And of course, Cameron Murray, I think he's a bench player for New South Wales because he's a great utility. He can play in the middle. He can play on the edge. He started on the edge the last 2 games for the Bunnies, where they've named some rogue edge players like Brandon Smith and Lachlan Hubner. None of them have been playing edge. It's been Cam Murray. So I think he is a great lock for that bench spot.
I have Murray at 13. I just think we're past the experiment of having Murray off the bench. I feel like Murray's done really well starting, particularly under Madge. He had that really good game there at 13. Got so much go forward through the middle with his leg speed, and then you bring a Yo off the bench, and Yo did really, really well. I've got Murray. Sav, who have you got?
I've got Murray, but if Yo isn't starting, I'd prefer Murray off the bench than Yo, because I feel like Murray brings that extra fast leg speed. I don't mind him off the bench. Just get him out of the tough works to start off. And like you can serve his body, he probably goes out of his way to absolutely smash himself. So if you put him on for less minutes, that's only going to help him. It's kind of why I liked Yo up front and Murray at lock, because I feel like those two experienced guys leading the way and playing big minutes is better for the side. But if we're going to go this way, then Yo at lock for me.
Damn, I thought you were playing Yo front row for a 12 lock position out of nowhere. Yeah.
Never know. Move. Just dummy around.
You definitely wouldn't be a mind reader or a psychic there. You can drill those
just a stats guy, mate.
Leaguie, who have you got, brother?
I think aside from fullback, this is the call that I agonized over the most. I really would be happy with either Yo or Murray. I did go with Yo in the end at lock purely because of Murray's versatility off the bench. I feel that the ability to play back row if needed as well certainly helps him in that department. So Yo was my lock.
All right, we got a tie. Is it Yo or is it Murray? What are we going to do, guys?
I'm happy to concede on this because I've got my way so far with everything.
I'm not happy to concede on this. We're going to pick the New South Wales captain as starting. We're not going to do a bloody Brad Fittler and have our captain coming off the bench.
Well, I said Yo. I changed my mind to Yo.
Oh, right. So it's 3-on-1. So we're not having this argument.
Right. Okay. I'll just go fuck myself. That's all right.
Les wanted some content.
Yo, there at 13. Let's go. All right. The bench options. What I think we might do for the bench, we've obviously gone through all the forward positions already and who stands out statistically. Let's just go through some 14 options, Rando. I know that you've thrown out some halves, some nines already as well that can obviously jump into those 14 spots. Is there anything you have for us in regards to who the best 14 would be?
I think you kind of got to look at players who can just come onto the field and create attack for their team. And, there's 2 people who are completely out of the box. Cody Walker's time's probably well over, but he can create a try assist out of nothing off that bench. And also he's playing shorter minutes, so that might help. Scotty Drinkwater, reduce the amount of time he has to make a lot of errors. So that could be an option as well, particularly if we got Dill Edwards and Tom Trbojevic at the back. James Tedesco at the back. But for me, I still think Connor Watson is still that man. Like, he just keeps punching out his normal stats each year and keeps getting picked. And I don't think he does really anything wrong. He can be a bit too bland maybe as a 14 coming off the bench when you look at Queensland and they inject Ponga, they inject like proper attackers, whereas New South Wales, they've always kept to him being that sort of utility guy. So I don't know if that changes. I think actually the 5-man bench actually benefits. Sorry, the 6-man bench benefits Connor Watson this year as well to keep his spot, because now they can at least inject maybe a fullback or someone who can create something out the back. So I still think Connor Watson still owns that 14.
That's the point I was going to make as well with the 14 jersey, because we're assuming we have the 6-man bench in Origin. Like, you could pick Connor Watson, Dylan Walker, Tyron Wishart, one of these guys in a jersey 18, and then your 14 can be someone really rogue, like a Drinkwater, like another fullback, or like these other guys as well, which is interesting. I'm actually keen to see who you guys have got. Leaguie, I'll start with you. Who's your 14?
Well, Connor Watson's my favorite player in the world. I have to stick with him. I think that the contrast of him and the other guys that Rando just brought up is that Watson does it week in, week out. That is his role at the Roosters in a star-studded side. He comes in and provides that spark. So I think he's a specialist at doing that. And I feel he's been a little bit underutilized as State of Origin so far, just not given a lot of minutes. But if he does get a little bit more opportunity, I think he could be really effective.
Savros?
I've still got Connor Watson there, out of form at the moment, but I feel like he's that type of player that you can bring him on and he can have multiple roles and do it well. Come through the middle, come through at hooker. I guess we assume Brayley's going to play big minutes, but if things aren't working and he needs a 10-minute spell, he can go in there and do a really good job. He was part of the winning try that Leaguie set up in 2024. So, yeah, just keeping him in that similar role, I like him there.
Another, I was going to say another little wild play. What do we think about Api Coruscant as a potential option off the bench? I mean, is he still a live wire like he was back when he made his Origin, last few Origin appearances? He could still inject a bit of, because that's the role of the 14. You got to inject something. So I feel like he's got a bit of venom that he could give.
He's suspended for 3 games. Does that rule him out?
I think we still got 4 weeks, don't we?
Got 4 weeks still?
Yeah, he's still good. Still
okay.
good.
Yeah, look, I actually like the Api Coruscant shout. Is that the way you're going to go?
No, I'll probably stick with C. Watson.
All right.
Do something different.
I have actually done something different. I went with Dewey. I think that with the 6-man bench, you've got the option to throw one of these wild cards in there. I think Dewey can come on at lock. He can come on in the back row at a pinch if you need him to with injuries. Centers, he can cover. He can cover fullback if there's an injury. Like, he can just play anywhere. So I feel like Dewey can be that Mr. Fix-It. But I think everyone else has gone Watson. So we'll stick with Watson at this stage. And then you threw up a couple of other forwards. Why don't we just run through the rest of our benches from 15 to 19, and then I guess we'll go through who are the more popular players in each team list and just tick it off from that way to build our benches. So, Rando, I'll start with you. Who's your 15 to 19?
For me, I've gone Stefano, Jacob Saifiti, Cam Murray, Alex Twal, and, well, obviously Dewey was my ideal 5'8". I don't mind him as a 19 shout. But I had Mark Nwanga-Nitawazi in there just for a bit of X factor. He can cover wing to centre. You could probably push maybe, if we're going to go with Dylan Edwards, he can push to fullback if Teddy goes down or vice versa. But I think that Marky Mark could be a nice little spark there to create something ridiculous out of nothing.
Who was your, you actually had Stefano, Saifiti, Murray. Who was your 18?
Twal.
Okay, sweet. Leaguie.
So, aside from Connor Watson at 14, I went with Jackson Ford, Cameron Murray, Spencer Leniu, Keon Kalamatangi, and Katoni Staggs.
Keon and Staggs. Love it. Savros.
Is that 19 or 20? So 19 is from 14. So we got 6-man bench, right?
Yeah, 6-man bench, yeah.
Okay. Leniu, Keon, Staggs.
All right. So who's our starting front row? Is it Jackson Ford?
So
Ford and May.
I was a Ford and May. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'm going Cameron Murray, Spencer Leniu, Tallis Duncan. I'm on board with the Tom Yeager shout of Tallis Duncan. I think he's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, you've got one more. You've got.
Feel any outside back position. I'm sorry, I got so confused there. I'm trying to work with the side I have, and I just got myself in a knot. So, yeah, that's my side.
I have left Keon out because of the injury to his knee. So I haven't carried him in, even though he's playing good footy still with the injury. I've left him out. I had Yo on my bench. Obviously, we've gone with Yo to start, so I'll go Murray. I have Adam Fanua-Blake on the bench. I've got Barnett, Spencer Leniu, and then I had Tony Staggs at jersey 19 as well. I think Staggs is good cover. So
Good luck finding a middle ground here.
So I think Barnett and Leniu are common denominators.
Murray, definitely.
Murray's
Murray's one.
look, that's what I was going to say. Murray's in.
Yep.
Murray,
I think Staggs, there's 2 Stags, so we may as well pick him.
Staggs in.
Staggs. Leniu is popular.
Yeah.
Happy to carry Leniu.
Yep.
I will say, though, I wouldn't have included Lenu if it would mean omitting AFB, because we didn't start AFB, right?
No, we didn't.
No.
That's true.
So our bench as it stands, we've got Watson, Murray, Spencer Leniu, and Staggs. Watson,
May as
Murray,
well.
Leniu, Staggs.
May as well chuck in an AFB.
Yeah, okay. So let's go Adam Fanua-Blake.
What are we
need another
missing?
back rower then.
B. Watson, Murray, Leniu, Staggs, AFB. That's 5 players. So we need one more.
So we probably need a half or an edge back rower.
Fuck.
Do we take Tallis Duncan?
May as well. I'm happy with that.
Back rower because I feel Connor Watson can do the job in the halves. If
Yeah.
So let's
Let's go Duncan.
Let's take Tallis Duncan. All right, that is our New South Wales side. I will try and get a graphic up on screen. Otherwise, you can head over to the Instagram to view that one. We'll throw it up there as well. Let's get stuck into the loser state, the Queensland side. Rando, kick us off. Fullbacks for Queensland. What are we looking like?
Well, I'm reading the news this week, and hot boy Reece Walsh looks to be back. Sorry, Leaguie. Back for the Roosters game, unfortunately, for Leaguie. But he is easily the main guy we need to look at here. He's had a hot start to the year. I mean, always hot and cold. When hasn't he been that? But 4 tries in his first 5 games. His kicking game's been really good as well. He's forced 4 dropouts. So just being that, not even that first or second kicker, but like just that third kicker, particularly as close to the line, 20 metres out, just to put in a grubber kick there. He's found Tony Staggs, even though Tony Staggs won't be playing, but just those little grubber kicks, those deft grubber kicks, he knows when to play them. He's got that footy IQ. I think Reece Walsh is the number one by a standout.
Leaguey?
Yeah, Reece Walsh. I mean, his form at the back end of last season, enough has been said about it. We all know how good it was. Even though he has spent time out, I think it's just too good to ignore. I'm picking Walsh at fullback.
Timu Savage.
Timu Savage. I'll back up what Rando said here. Reece Walsh. Tom Dearden isn't a traditional halfback and doesn't really have a long kicking game. So I think Reece Walsh's really long boot really helps that Queensland side. So a really good asset to have. Reece Walsh.
Yes, it's a Walsh landslide here. We got Walsh all around, so that's nice and quick. Wingers. I want to preface this by saying you are going to be shocked at one of my wingers.
I already know who it is.
It's not other Savage. If that's who you thought I was going to pick.
No, it's not Zave Savage. For me, for the wingers, I think Murray Taulagi, 9 tries in his first 7 games this season. He's been all over it at the moment. 8 line breaks as well in those 7 games. I think he's the easy standout to be picked. I think I've seen some Queensland teams, predicted teams that don't have him in there. I don't know what that is about. I think he is an absolute lock. I'm going to assume that Xavier Coates, I don't think he'll be fit enough. Even if he is back, I don't think he's going to be fit enough for this game. Maybe game 2, game 3, he might be injected. But I'm going to go with Selwyn Cobbo. I think he's resurrected his career here at the Dolphins. He isn't scoring all the tries and being glamorous in that sort of sense, but he's getting through the work, averaging 170 metres per game. He hasn't got high in the areas either. He's not too bad with his air account, so it shouldn't be too bad for him, I think. And he's been in the Origin arena before, so I think you need an established winger there who's done it before. I'm sure there's going to be some left field choices from you boys about wingers outside of the traditional ones. But for me, those two seem to be the sound picks, I think, for Queensland in terms of not picking a player out of position. Because, look, I'm not big on. I think Val Holmes needs to take a minute to really look at his form, because his defensive lapses in the last two games have been not up to NRL standard, let alone Origin standard. So yeah, I think he is why I didn't look at him at all for this game. I think you got to look for new blood, and Cobbo, Taulagi are the two.
Alrighty, Sav, what are we doing?
And has played one game. I think you put him straight in because he's that good. But I don't think he will be. So I've gone with Philip Sammy.
Leaguie, what have you got?
I'll echo the thoughts on Murray Taulagi. I feel he's a bit out of sight, out of mind up there at North Queensland, so he doesn't get the credit he deserves, but absolutely gets one spot. For the other, I did go with Xavier Coates. According to NRL.com, he's due back next week, and I think he's the kind of guy who could come back, and he's got the trust of a guy like Billy Slater and go straight into that Origin side. But it is a question of fitness. If he doesn't pass that fitness test, then I'm happy to go with a Selwyn Cobbo.
Well, the thing is as well, Melbourne aren't going to crash hot either. So if he comes back a little bit ginger and Melbourne don't look good, he's not going to look good either. So that's something you would have look at as well. But it's Xavier Coates.
For all we know, Melbourne are doing shit because Xavier Coates isn't there.
Yeah, that's true.
Who knows?
Sav,
Absolutely.
Who did you think I had?
Jackson Purdue.
Nope.
Okay, good.
I've gone with Murray Taulagi, and I've gone with Jojo Fafita.
Yeah, he was actually on my list as well as him or Phil Sammy.
Yeah, I just look at Jojo, really good in the air. The games he got on the wing last year with the Titans were really good. Statistically, now I'm not too sure if this is the same on your sheet, Rando, but when I saw a stat the other day that Jojo Fafita was one of the better statistical defensive centers this year so far. Not sure if that's, I mean, you're the perfect guy to ask. I saw that somewhere. Just looking at him this year as well, he's played good footy, scored some tries. I think that Jojo is going to be one of those Billy Slater wild call picks.
I mean, in a Titan side to be missing 15 tackles in 7 games, pretty good. In fact, out of all the centre options, he's missed the least tackles of any player there. So definitely a good defensive choice. Be very interesting to see which way this goes, because I think Murray Taulagi definitely lock. Xavier Coates floating thereabouts, but if he's not available, I think it could go to anyone. I don't think Slater is big on Selwyn Cobbo. I don't think there's a good relationship there, so that could really open up to any player. And I think Philip Sammy, probably my next best choice outside of Coates and Cobbo, but Jojo Fafita is also a great shout.
I'm taking this is going to get shut down straight away, but we did throw Edwards on the wing for New South Wales. Would you throw KP on the wing for Queensland?
No way in hell.
I thought you guys were going to say. All right, we've all got different options. What are we thinking? We've got Cobbo, Sami, Coates, and Jojo Fafita. Out of those, who do we like? Is it?
Well, if Coates is an option, though, surely that's the play.
Absolutely.
All right. So should we say Coates in the expectation that he'll be available and be back to good fitness?
Depends if Leaguie's getting his same injury news from the Liam Martin scandals, then he could have all pulled us all.
That's true. That's very true. I'll trust Leaguie for now. Taulagi and Coates wings. We've got Walsh at fullback. Centers, what are we looking at? Rando.
It's the same two who we saw last year dominating the stats again here. Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. I mean, he's done everything at fullback, but he knows he can slot into that left wing really well. He's almost on track to be the all-time Origin try scorer, the way he was scoring tries there at left centre. So I'm very happy with him there. And then Robert Toya, he's off to a really good start this year. 5 try assists in 6 games. That's third out of all centres, and he's missed a few games in between there. He's fourth for tackles as well, made, and only 19 missed. So a really good tackle efficiency. I thought he stepped up really well in his debut series, and I think he should get it back. I think Shibasaki, it's been a very tough up and down year for him this year, getting picked and not picked by Madge. Obviously, he's found his way back into the side, but obviously, I don't know, for me, Hammer and Toya have just been doing the damn thing at the moment, so I can't look past them.
Yep. Is that pretty concurrent with everyone? Do we have Hammer and Toya?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's lock them in now. Hammer and Rob Toya. Let's move to 5'8". Now, before we get into 5'8", does anyone here not have Cameron Munster before Rando begins? Does everyone have Munster?
Yes.
Rando, I actually want to hear who the best statistical 5'8" is from you before we move on. I actually want to know.
It's not Cam Munster.
Yeah.
It's a bloke up north who wasn't supposed to apparently be in the Cowboys team this season, and that's Jake Clifford, who's made some serious waves statistically. He's second for try assists for 5'8" this season with 7. He's third for line break assists, first for line breaks made by 5'8" as well, second for offloads. His kick meters as well, he's fourth for 5'8" in that stat as well, and second for try assists too. So it's been the Jakey Clifford year for the Cowboys at the moment. We know he runs that line as hard as Tom Dearden does, I guess, from a halves perspective. He can also jump for the ball too. So he's become an aerial threat all of a sudden, an all-rounder, just to keep his spot in this Cowboys side. So I do like the dog in Jake Clifford, and I'd love to see him. Probably not going to be in the 19-man team, but if there's an extended squad of 21, 22, love to see Clifford be a part of that. But obviously Cam Munster's the Queensland captain, so you got to pick him.
What are we thinking about if let's just say Munster has a bad game 1? Is Ezra Mam any chance of making this side?
Yes.
Big chance. I think he's on my bench.
Yeah.
After DCE last season, we saw a captain get dropped after game 1. Billy Slater has shown that he's willing to do that. I think Munster has one game at Origin to prove that he's still the man.
Daly Cherry Evans of Manly Seagulls fame, by the way, and Billy Slater of Melbourne Storm fame.
Savros, what do you reckon? You reckon Mam's a chance?
I think so for sure. I think he's even a chance for round 1. But I mean, there's other avenues you can go. You can go Jamal Fogarty at halfback and move the current halfback to 5'8". I think that's another avenue they can take, depending on where they lacked in game 1. And if they lack direction in game 1, then I think Fogarty's your man. If they lack creativity in game 1, then Ezra Mam's your man. So, plenty of ways they can go in the halves, which is scary as a New South Wales fan.
I'll say this. I know that we all have Munster at the moment, but before Munster was named captain of this side, I actually did have Ezra Mam because I thought that Munster, the way that he started the year, it was pretty poor. Melbourne obviously not going great, and Billy makes big calls. We've known that the last couple of years. I did have Ezra Mam in there before Munster was named captain. He's on my bench as well, so it will be interesting to see what we do look like when we get to the bench. But happy to lock in Munster at this stage, considering we all have him.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's jump into halfback. Now, just before we begin, do we all have Tom Dearden?
Yes.
Who is the best? Is it Tom Dearden, the best statistical halfback?
It's got to be Tom Dearden. I think he's the main guy here for Queensland. He's second for line break assists. He leads the league in line engagements as well. He's first for tackles for halfbacks in the NRL. 198 tackles made, 14 missed. So that's a pretty good tackle efficiency too. As you mentioned, I forgot who mentioned it, but his kicking game isn't as big a threat, and that's where we say Reece Walsh comes in, complements Dearden's game as well. And as I mentioned, that's why Jake Clifford's kicking game has been so well this season for the Cowboys, because he's been heavily lent on. But Tom Dearden, he gives you that aspect of he's not a traditional halfback. He runs the ball, he runs it hard, and mate, he's last year's Wally Lewis medalist, so you can't overlook him.
Yep, 100%. So Deed and Munster, the halves at this stage. Let's go into the middle, but I actually want to start with the nines because I'm intrigued. I want to see if Harry Grant is still the best statistical hooker for Queensland, or if there is someone else that's poking their nose through.
There's bugger all hookers for Queensland. So Harry Grant has a monopoly for the rest of the year. I mean, Max Plaff, he came back from injury. Corey Pakes could be an option. Reid Marnie is there. I don't think I'm missing anyone else in particular out of those options. But, yeah, I think Harry Grant, he's still number one for tries, number one for runs made, third for try assists for hookers. He's second for kick meters as well out of dummy half. I think he's still the man, Harry Grant, regardless of how the Storm are going.
Yeah, I think you've definitely got to pick him. I just have a feeling though as well, and I want to get your thoughts on this, guys, with Harry Grant and with how the Melbourne Storm are going, and I guess you could say the same for Munster. If Melbourne lose their next couple games, is there any chance that Munster pulls out and focuses on the Melbourne Storm?
I reckon he comes better if by playing Origin. He'll be a better player off the back of being a part of the Origin system, to be honest.
Sav?
It's so true. Like, I feel like Melbourne's issues aren't with Munster. Yeah, he's in poor form at the moment, but you saw a lot of passes. They went too far back, too far forward. I feel like it's the issue that the spine is so far ahead of everyone else in their side that they're just waiting for everyone to catch up and be in time with them. So I don't think it's necessarily Munster's fault and they can't put their finger on it. I think just once their team around them kind of catches up to them and catches up with all their timing and like movements and all that sort of stuff, that the Melbourne Storm will come back. And I think in an Origin environment, then he doesn't have that issue. So, I think Munster and Harry are just locks.
Leaguie, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll sort of go off the back of that as well and say that if Melbourne do lose their next few games, I think it'll be the most Queensland thing ever for Cameron Munster to come out and absolutely brain it in State of Origin. Legacy performance, they'll rename the Wally Lewis medal after him. That's the narrative around it. So, no, I think he'll be there.
I was going to say on the back of Sav's chat, I think it's a total thing that Munster's playing badly. But you look at the blokes outside of him, every single player wasn't there last year. Suafalongo wasn't the fullback. He's had Lasardi and now Cooper Clark as his left edge back rower. That wasn't the case last year. His whole left-hand side edge, Nick Meaney and Watire, they weren't there last year. Nick Meaney was on the other side. He's had a totally new slaver that he's had to deal with in attack, and that's why everything has just been completely off, because it's just a changing landscape for him. I mean, that's probably why he never signed with the Dolphins in the first place, because he had to deal with that as well. So maybe going back to Queensland, having someone noticeable on his side, I think he'll be a lot better for it.
And going with a better pack, with a better team as well, you'd have to think that he plays really well. Have we all got Harry Grant?
Yes.
All right, let's lock him in. Let's move to the front row, Rando.
This one's a really interesting open one. Look, he hasn't agreed, but he is eligible. Jason Taumalolo's winding back the clock here. We need to talk about it. 2020 was his last pretty good season, and he's pretty much matching all his numbers from back then. Out of all front rowers in the league, he ranks 4th for run meters, 3rd for post-contact meters. He's just been absolutely excelling in the meterage thing. And even if he's just off the bench as an impact player, his second stints in games have been really damaging. So if we can get him on 50th plus minute and really fatigue the New South Wales team, that'd be really good. Whether he wants to do it, whether Slater picks him, that's another thing in itself. But he's definitely up there. The usual front rowers that Queensland go with, they're not usually statistically sound. I would probably dare say that Corey Horsburgh's up there as an option for Queensland, although his meters has been pretty far down, 105 meters. You got Tino Fasuama-Ali. His minutes have been down and his performances have been down as a result. Tom Gilbert's doing not too bad there at front row option. He's actually averaging the second most meters out of everyone besides Jason Taumalolo. Only Tino's averaging more meters out of the front row options. But then again, Lindsay Collins, he gets picked week in, week out for Queensland, despite only averaging 84 metres at club level. So, the go forward's not really there for Queensland, but when they put the jersey on, they're a different beast.
So are you going to side with the stats there? Who are your two front rowers, Rando?
If I'm going to go the dream. Jace finally joins the Queensland Maroons, and I think you got to go with a guy like Tino beside him.
Okie dokie. Savros.
Jason Tamalolo is eligible.
Yeah, so
Yes, I believe so.
I want to hit this nail on the head because I've seen an article as well that said he's not. He came over when he was 14. So I want to hit this nail on the head. Is he eligible or is he not?
I've got Zero Tackle's got him as eligible, and I think he is eligible because he had an interview about it and he said he might not want to do it, let alone, yeah. But I'm pretty sure he is eligible.
All right.
Okay.
Wasn't Jerome Hughes the one who came over at 13-14?
Yeah. No, or Ronaldo did as well, and so did Moses Leota. So
We almost got away with Ronaldo until some snitch came along.
on Twitter as well, wasn't it? I'm going.
Yeah, the SC experience. I don't know what is. I don't know.
Yeah, damn those guys. I am going. I had Lindsay Collins and Tino initially, but if Tamalolo is eligible, then he's my front row for sure. I feel like they've been begging for a guy like this. They always pick a guy like this, like Josh Papali'i last year. I don't think he'll be healthy for round one. So just Jason Tamalolo is that perfect fit for them. That's if he wants to play, I guess, because the Queensland Maroons is such a side that you want to have your heart in it for. And if Tamalolo's heart's not there, then Billy won't pick him. I'm sure he'll have this conversation with him. So, yeah, Tamalolo and Tino for me.
Leaguie, what are you doing?
I want to echo everything that was just said because I also had Lindsay Collins and Tino to start, but I was under the impression that Tamalolo wasn't available and would be picking Tamalolo to start if he is available. But, I mean, the whole thing about the spirit of Queensland and wanting to play or not is so important. And I think that that's something that a guy like Lindsay Collins particularly embodies. It annoys me to no end that we see him absolutely brilliant at an Origin and then he'll come back for the Roosters and be overshadowed by Egan Butcher. So, I would be starting with Collins and Tino if Jason Tamalolo wasn't completely sure.
Okay. I think Jason Tamalolo is a landslide if he's available, which he looks like he is.
He's trying.
Trying to touch my mic. I thought I had it off. Career Mail said Jason Tamalolo's state of origin eligibility may be uncertain because of. So now it's changed. Recent
I made a video about it, and all the comments were he's not eligible.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Oh goodness. Well, we got to trust the comment section of the league, mate.
I mean, if we want to post with engagement, we can just say Jason Tamalolo.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just have everyone just comment saying he's not eligible. But I'm happy to go with Lindsay Collins and Tino as a safety to avoid that whole conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
make us because then our argument becomes ineligible and where this whole podcast is ineligible.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely not bloke in a bar standard, that's for sure.
He lived in Queensland when he was 12, so he should be eligible.
Okay, it's all happening. I don't know.
Okay, let's assume he is ineligible. Are we going to go with Tino and Collins?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Let's lock.
Queensland have an eligibility page as well on there.
Yeah.
Is he there?
No, he's not. I don't think it's been updated in like years. I don't think it's been updated in a very long time.
Oh, Blake Wilson's eligible. I didn't know that. Might change my.
Change your side. All right, let's go to the back row. We've got Tino and Collins in the front row. Back row, Rando.
For the back row, I think these two players might be the new back rowers here for Queensland. Cooley Fini-Fuiaki, I think, has had a ripper start to the year. He's second for metres gained by second rower this season with 175. He's just been out of nowhere. He's just getting a lot of ball, averaging 16 runs per game, 78 post-contact meters per game. So that is probably one of the guys I would look at on that right second row. And then Leaguie also starting to hit his stride for the Cowboys on that left second row spot. Obviously, Jeremiah Nanai, not too many stats to go off as he just played only last week and he came off the bench in that game as well. But I think that a guy like Nanai, he could definitely be the player that can spark the Maroons potentially off the bench more so than starting. We've seen that in multiple things. But Leaguie definitely been a good performer for Queensland, for the North Queensland Cowboys. Reuben Cotter's also there. He's been starting. He started on the edge for Queensland a couple of times too. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets that left second row spot and maybe Lukey and Nanai come off the bench potentially. So I'm going to go with what I like, and I like Lukey and Finny Fuiaki as our back rowers.
I like it as well. It's funny, every time I've tried to put this Queensland team together, I can't seem to put Cotter on the edge, even though he's played there the last couple series, just because they're so sport for choice. I'll give it away. I've got Jaden Sewer and Helam Lukey. I think Sewer's been outstanding for the Dragons. I think he's been there the last couple of years as well. Helam Lukey's been really good for the Cowboys. And I look at Finna Fuiaki and I go, you could play him for 20 minutes off the bench and he could just be an unbelievable impact guy through the middle of the field too. So I'm going to go with Sewer and Lukey. Leaguie, who have you got?
Yeah, well, I've got actually kind of all of those guys on my side except for Jaden Sewer. I went with Jeremiah Nene to start, although I do like the call of Lukey and Finna Fuiaki, though they will be yet to come in my side. Reuben Cotter is a guy who I feel is not necessarily on the best of form, but is another one of these picks where Queensland will go with the trusted player who's got the job done in the past and he will excel in that arena. So, yeah, my two back rows were Nene and Reuben Cotter.
Okie dokie smoky. Nanai Cotter. Savros.
I've gone Lukey and Finny Fuiaki. I feel like Reuben Cotter, whilst they've won the series with him on the edge, he hasn't excelled. And I feel like him coming off the bench, playing his natural middle position, very similar to what we're doing with Cameron Murray coming off the bench. So I like Reuben Cotter coming off the bench and genuine second rowers. I like the Jaden Sewer shout, though, because I feel like he's been very underrated for a while. And in a bad Dragons side, he probably deserves more raps. But, yeah, I'm going with Lukey and Finny Fuiaki. He's
probably been the Dragons' best player, or at least in the top three, in a side that is obviously 0-8. I feel like as well, as I said, with Finna Fuiaki, just because he is that big body and he's so destructive when he runs, you could just play him for 20 minutes off the bench and he'd do such a good job through the middle of the field. Are we confident in going with Finna Fuiaki and Lukey to start? I feel like that's where the majority sort of sits.
Yeah, they were both on my bench, so I'm happy to start them.
Oh, easy peasy. Let's go to 13. What have we got, Rando?
It's Paddy Carrigan. I mean, he leads the locks in runs, in run meters. You also look at his tackles. He's third for that as well. I mean, he is just the complete package through the middle. He's also got the looks too, which not many middles do. If you look at the other New South Wales captain, please. So I got to go Paddy Carrigan there. He's hot, he's sexy, and he gets the job done.
It's like Anchorman. It's like anywhere but the hair or face for Paddy Carrigan. Yeah, look, we obviously didn't get Paddy Carrigan in the starting front row when we went through it all together. So I'm happy to put Paddy Carrigan at 13. I've got Reuben Cotter there at the moment, just because that's the only spot I could fit him in. Very happy to go Paddy Carrigan if that is the general consensus. Savros, what have you got?
Yeah, I got Paddy Carrigan as well. He's a gun. Future Queensland captain.
Game 2, potentially, by the sounds of it from everyone.
Leaguie, what have you got, brother?
Yeah, Patrick Carrigan, not much more to it. He's so solid. He does the job there every single year for Queensland. He's definitely the pick.
All righty, it's Carrigan at 13. All right, we're going to do the same thing for New South Wales here for Queensland with the 14s. Rando, we've obviously run through some 7s, some 6s, some 9s. Well, we didn't run through too many 9s because you don't have any. But who are some 14s that we could throw here just with the 6-man bench? Give us some names.
I think my favourite is Ezra Mam, what he can do, what he can inject, particularly with his speed, his try creativeness. He had 3 assists on the weekend against the Dogs. He is definitely probably the best 14 pick for me. Not too sure about Ben Hunt's injury, but I think he might be past it. And that's no offense to Ben Hunt, but this game has changed and it's become a lot faster. You want somebody who is a lot faster for the game, and Ezra Mam can jump on at any point throughout the match and take over the game. So Ezra Mam's my number 1 pick. Some other picks that you can look at. I mean, he'll be racing the clock, but Kalen Ponga's there or thereabouts. He could be an option, but he might be like a 19th man potentially. But I also don't mind the shout of Jaden Campbell. And Sav would know particularly through SuperCoach standards that he is always up there and abouts. He's 3rd for tries scored. He loves an intercept, that's for sure. He can pick that out. He's also been good with 3 try assists. Defensively can be a bit of a worry, but him off the bench is electric, and he came off the bench for the Titans multiple times and played that utility role. So I don't mind seeing him there as a possible 14. But for me, it's got to be Ezra.
You look like you're about to burst. What's going on?
Could you imagine the folklore if Nathan Clear?
Well, Ben Hunt's all over again as well. Rando, out of Mam and Campbell, whose defense is better this year so far?
So far this year, just taking a look at each one's defence. So Ezra Mam, obviously complete defensive liability. He's conceded 8 tries in 7 games. Jaden Campbell, less of a defensive liability. He only misses 2.6 tackles per game. Ezra Mam's double that at 5.2. So, I mean, you're not having either player there for 80 minutes to Ezra Mam's case. So the reduced minutes is the less time he can miss tackles. And do you protect him and sort of put Ezra Mam, I wouldn't say on the wing per se, because Brian To'o can still motor over the top of him, but just even in the middle potentially, just so he's just like that 3rd player into a tackle where the 2 front rowers protect him and he's just there. I feel like at the moment, him being on an edge, he's so isolated, and it's one-on-ones with big players like Hamole will be running up against him. It's a frightening prospect. So I'll be interested to see how Billy Slater would do it if he was to play Ezra Mam at 14. I just think he probably scores more tries than he lets. He will probably create more tries than he would concede in the space, in the time that he gets, I feel, on the field.
He also does have some big defense. Even though he's not a great defender statistically, he has some big defensive moments, like that intercept against the Tigers to win the game.
Well, if he doesn't take that intercept, that's when he gets exposed.
Yeah, that's true. I've got Mam currently. I am second guessing myself a little bit. Savros, I know that you have Mam. Leaguie, who have you got?
Yeah, I've got Ezra Mam, but the Jaden Campbell call has got me in all sorts of trouble at the moment, and I'm just rethinking everything.
Do we throw Jaden Campbell there as a general consensus?
That's how this works, right?
It does. It does. I mean, I don't mind it. I really don't mind the Campbell either way.
I guess our question now is it's between Ponga and Mam on the bench, on the 6-man bench, right? Because
well, I have got Max Plath.
I also have Max Plath.
I also have Max Plath.
I don't know where you guys are getting Max Plath from.
So I'll read out my bench. I've got Ezra Mam, Max Plath, Lindsay Collins, Tom Gilbert, Fina Fuiaki, and Callum Ponga was the bench I had before our general consensus chat. What do we go, Leaguie?
So are we starting Collins or are we not starting Collins?
We are starting.
We're starting Collins. Yeah, Taumalolo is ineligible.
In that case, I had Mam, Tom Gilbert, Jeremiah Nene, Ruben Cotter, Keelan Ponga, and Max Plath.
Okay. Yeah. He could.
Yeah. Are we ruling out Kalen Ponga for game one?
I'm pretty sure he's back this week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's back soon.
I kind of, it's just in my mind, but I feel it's between Ponga and Campbell. I feel that they're too similar to both have on the bench there.
Okay. Hold your horses, team. So, Leaguie, can you read out your bench for me very slowly again for me?
Yes,
So let's just say Jaden Campbell is
in grade 5 English, please.
Okay. Ezra Mam, Tom Gilbert, Jeremiah Nene, Ruben Cotter, Max Plath, and then one of Ponga or Jaden Campbell.
Okay. And then Savros. So you've got Cotter, Hetherington,
Plath, Ponga, Mam, Gagai.
Rando. Who have you got?
I've got Cotter. I've got Nanai. I'm going Corey Horsburgh. Got to count on my fingers who I've got. I've got 2 left. I'm going to go Tom Gilbert, and I'm going to go Kalen Ponga.
Okay. So I think since we've all agreed on Jaden Campbell, well, at least we did before. I don't know what we think now, but since we all agreed on Jaden Campbell, I think Ponga's ruled out.
Yep.
I'm not. If the replacement is Dan Gagai, then I'm not taking that.
The replacement will most likely be Ezra Mam.
Okay. Well, aren't they all the same? Aren't we naming the same player 3 times?
Well, the thing is with Jaden Campbell and Ponga, they both cover fullback and 5'8".
Yeah.
Cam covers 5'8", half to a pinch, and can play a bit of a lock role. If
Worst lock on the planet.
Yeah, but he can also,
I really do think you need outside back cover though, because you've got Hammer there who can fill in at fullback if an injury happens. So you need someone that is in the outside back, because if an injury in the outside backs happens, who are you going to put there? Like Cotter?
But I also think in the same sense is that the game situation. Who do you blood? Do you blood Jaden Campbell, or do you put on Kalen Ponga, who can possibly save the game if it's getting away from them? I think you can't have Kalen Ponga, like with the 19-man bench, that's when, like if it was condensed, you'd have to choose between Kalen Ponga and Jaden Campbell. I completely understand. But with a 19-man bench, God, you got to have Ponga there.
Are we
completely, and Campbell.
Are we completely against carrying Kurt Capewell on the bench?
Yeah.
Probably.
Done? Is it done now?
Well, because you've got Finny Fuaki and Lukey there, right? Like they're already 2 players who are taking his position.
They can't cover centre though. And if we're talking about outside back cover,
would you be happy with Capewell there?
Mate, Lukey scored the game winner at left centre against the Bronx.
True.
This is true. Okay, so what are we going to do? So are we taking out Jaden Campbell and leaving Ponga? What are we going to do?
I think we can have both, to be honest.
Yeah, is there not a world where we can have both?
Yeah.
Surely.
I
think game situation will determine who Billy chooses, but at least he's got that choice rather than going, oh fuck, Jaden Campbell, we're down by 16. Good lord.
Let's say
have to take 50 intercepts.
Let's say that we carry Ponga and JC, Jaden Campbell, not Jean Claude. Does that rule out Plath or Mam?
I'd say
I reckon it rules out Mam.
Yeah.
I think
Plath can play middle as well.
Or hooker when
or
Harry
edge.
Grant needs a spell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plath or Cotter, do you reckon?
Cotter's edge, back edge cover and middle cover. So surely he stays.
So are you happy to rule out Plath for Cotter? Or
No. When we keep both, who else are we gonna? Who's our bench at the moment?
So the
'Cause I'm
players
confused on who we got left.
This is
So
good
the
casting.
yeah, exactly. The players that we've got left, we've got Tom Gilbert,
Yep.
we've got Kobe Hetherington, we've got Jeremiah Nanai. I'd say we've got Jaden Sewer because we didn't pick him before. Got Ruben Cotter. We've already got Callum Ponga and Jaden Campbell locked in. We have got Max Psychoplath. We've got Dane Gagai. We have got Corey Horsburgh. And that's it, I think.
I think it'd be more questions Sewer over or Nanai.
Okay.
Rather than yeah, which I would go Nanai purely because he could possibly play centre as well.
Yeah, and we need someone to do that. So I'd go Nano.
Happy to go Nanai, guys? Everyone Nanai?
Yep.
Okay. So
And I think Cotter's a Wally Lewis medalist, and let's not denounce our servicemen, those who have served.
but this is the thing, right? So let's say our bench currently is Jaden Campbell, Callum Ponga, Jeremiah Nanai, right?
Yep. Then we go Ruben Cotter.
Can we cover another small middle? Because we've got Nanai, we've got Ponga, we've got Jaden Campbell.
Yeah, we got two.
We need some bigger bodies on the bench.
We got the back utility. We've got the utility.
Yep.
We've got an edge. We've got a middle. We just need two more spots left, wouldn't we?
They're probably middles, yeah.
Yeah, they're probably middles.
And I'm pretty sure Tom Gilbert was voted by 2 or 3 people. So
he's there. And then it's between.
Well, if Plath isn't there, then is Harry Grant playing 80 minutes then?
Well, I think
No. Well, we haven't ruled out Plath just yet.
We
Plath
haven't.
over.
But that's what I'm saying. So
we got now Plath against Hetherington, which
We've got to pick a bigger body. So our bench right now is Jaden Campbell, Tom Gilbert, Ruben Cotter, and Ponga. Is that what we decided on? And Nanai?
yeah, that's 18, right?
yeah, but you've also got Carrigan who plays big minutes. You've got Tino who can play big minutes, and Lindsay Collins probably can't. So you need someone to split with him, which will be Tom Gilbert.
Yep.
Tom Gilbert.
And then
You also got Cotter off the bench as well, who can play middle,
and he'll come on.
regardless on his size.
He'll come on and play middle. And considering how the game is at the moment, do you really need another big guy?
So
I think Plath is more the hooker sort of play that Leaguie's talking about.
Okay. So Plath?
Yep.
Right. So our bench then, if I'm going to write that down on a spare piece of paper, because I've run out of paper.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
Paper crisis.
Fucking Queenslanders. Our bench would be Jaden Campbell, Ponga, Plath, Cotter, Gilbert, and
He'll get there.
and I.
No, yeah.
You're right. That is a tiny bench.
It's a small bench.
But I don't know what we can change.
I mean, how different is it from, the only player we're really missing from the usual one is Josh Papali'i not being there?
Yeah, and there was also Mo Fodawaker in there last year as well.
Yeah, true.
You don't really want to put a big guy in there for the sake of it. And
Yeah, but there's no one knocking on the door. I think Gilbert's still a big guy.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, like Pat Carrigan can play 80 in the middle. Ruben Cotter's played 80 and punched above his weight all his career in the middle. So I think these guys just step up and, surely they can get the job done. Yep.
Are you guys happy to throw Cotter into the back row and have Funefuiaki off the bench?
No.
Not
That's
really.
what I had initially.
But if we want to, sure, we can do that.
I'm just
be
thinking
different.
how we get this bench a bit bigger and beefier.
We can do that if you would like.
But
I'm not against it.
It changes nothing though, because if Finiviaki comes on and goes on to the edge, Cotter comes on and brings on leg speed through the middle, which I feel like is more valuable than just having a big guy for the sake of it.
Yeah, okay. All right. So are we happy with this bench?
Yeah, mate. It's just not. It's not about the size. It's how you use it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how we got to do.
That's it. All right, team. Well, I think that's going to be it. Jaden Campbell, Callum Ponga, Max Plath, Ruben Cotter, Tom Gilbert, and Nanai. Gee whiz, that is a odd bench. It's not the bench I was expecting for today's podcast, but look, we got through it, guys. It was a slugfest. There were some tech difficulties across the way, but as New South Welshmen, I mean, for the most part, other than Rando, we got through it. That's just what New South Welshmen do. Thank you for joining us, guys. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe, become a part of the Big LEZ'S League community. Rando, Sav, Leaguie, really appreciate you joining on and fighting through a couple of internet struggles. It's been a brave one.
Thanks for having me on. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.